Check this out from creating your best year ever.
Whether it's like relationally, with your marriage, financially, with your health, of course, right? We got to start going in the right direction, and that's different from what everybody else is doing. Okay, so it's okay to feel like you're alone, but that's why we have this awesome group of people going through this stuff. So the 5 essentials, these are not just 5 good ideas, they're 5 essentials. So we're going to start off with mindset. So the success solution, so the first thing is showing up. You guys are awesome, you did that, right? Second is now change the way you think. We cannot move forward with tools and resources if we don't change the way we think. These are things that we've told ourselves for years, right? So we have to be different here. The biggest subluxation or pressure on the nerve or interference in our body, interference in our entire life is in between our ears. It's what we were told as a kid. It's what we told ourselves as a kid. It's what our parents told us. Whatever it is, right? It's something we've been through our entire life, and it's always just in the back here, right? Who has one of those things? I'm not going to have you share it, but who has one of those things you always tell yourself? Like in the negative, from the past as a kid or a trauma or something like that. 10 honest people, so that's good. So we got to start to think differently, okay? So creating the right mindset, Albert Einstein says we can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them, meaning where you're at today, right? If it's bad, you got yourself there, and what we thought on the way there or what we did on the way there, we just have to do the exact opposite, and guess where you're going to go? The right direction, right? The right direction, right? So we can't use the same thing to try to get us out of where we're at, unless we're in a good place, right? A healthy place. We've changed a lot of things already, but if you haven't changed yet, we got to start to change. So what do you want your year to look like? What do you want your month to look like, right? A lot of people don't even think about their dreams. They just think, well, I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to do this for my family, I'm going to get home, take care of the kids or grandkids, and I'm going to go back to bed, and I'm going to do it all over again. On the Sundays, I'll go to church. I mean, that's really what our culture is around. And so the issue is this: if we don't even dream about what we want our life to look like, how can we know what it's going to be, right? How do we even know the steps to take to get there? And the answer is we don't. So one of the things we don't do is we don't even start to set goals. Just by a show of hands, who thinks about goals January 1st? Raise your hand if you think about any goals, new goals. Okay, raise your hand if you write your goals down. Okay, that's awesome. About 25 people. I mean, it's better than I thought, okay? The issue is this, though. If we don't think about our goals in different areas of our life, right, and then write them down, we never actually revisit them, and then a year passes by, 5 years pass by, you're like, oh, man, I wanted to do that back there, right? And so there's 8 categories. I'll read them off to you here. Make sure you take a picture of this if you can, because this is not in any of your handouts. So one is your career. Another one is finance. Those can kind of merge together if you'd like. Personal growth, health, family, relationships, social life, and your attitude. And I was like, where's faith? Where's God? Where's Jesus? And really, you start to look at it, he should be in all of these parts of our life. So he's obviously at the center. But all these 8 things around there, we have to really start to evaluate. And that's the hardest part, is to actually evaluate how bad we were last year or how good we were last year. But the problem is, if we don't have a starting point, then of course next year is going to be rough, okay, when we look at this. So there's 8 categories that you're going to want to look at, start to think about your goals. What are your dreams in these categories, and start to write them down, okay? Make your goals smart. Most of you have probably heard this before. We talk about this in the office, but you have to have smart goals: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely. You know, if you talk to some of the top businessmen that you know, maybe CEOs or salesmen, guess what they talk about? This. They talk about smart goals. Pharmaceutical companies talk about smart goals. Surgeons talk about smart goals in the hospitals, things like that. Then why can't we use these goals and apply them to our personal life? Why does it always have to be tied to, hey, we're going to hit this quota, right? Why does it have to be tied to that? We don't like to be kind of in a box, right? But you don't have to be if you have these types of goals. It's the goals that you want. It's not what I tell you to make the goals. It's the goals that you want. So they have to be smart, and it shouldn't just be in a corporate setting. It should be in our homes, right? And so committing to 30 days. Now, committing to 30 days is for this challenge that precedes this event, but I don't want it to just be a 30-day challenge and you're waiting until day 31 to just go off the deep end. Who's ever done that before? Like 14 days of diet, and then day 15, oh boy, here we go, right? Who's ever done that? Come on. It's human nature, right? Because we feel restricted, we feel confined, we feel deprived. That's what I don't want with today. I don't want you to feel condemned. I want you to feel convicted. And we're coming from victory already. We have to have victory over our decisions and our choices in our life, especially when it comes to health. So there's 5 principles of success. One is you have to have a big enough reason why. It can't be just to fit into your dress or to your suit or to look on the beach. It can't just be that. It can't even just be to lose weight and get off medications. That's a good one, but that should be a side effect again, right? So our big why, if our why is big enough, our how is going to be easy. If our why or reason to do it is big enough, our how is going to be really easy. So make it about your family, maybe so you can be there for your spouse, your kids, your grandkids, right? So you can serve more at church or serve more in the community or have more energy to go on trips. That's a fun one. That's a fun one, right? Hey, I want to be healthy so I have more energy so I can go backpacking or go to Europe or whatever dream you want, right? These are going to overlap, right? Another thing is you got to focus on the right things. Listen, if you listen to the news, it's bad out there, right? I mean, I accidentally listened to it last night and I learned like 4 bad things I didn't know before. I was like, this is horrible, right? Like if you even have it on the background, you hear all the bad stuff. So we got to make sure we focus on the right things and not look at all the bad things around us. Okay, we got to protect our brain, protect our heart. You're going to have to be tough, right? So it's not easy. It's easier to be sick in our country. It's easier to be sick in our country. It's a lot easier to go to fast food after today than go to Lucky's Market and make an organic salad, isn't it? It is. It's easy to, for some reason, it's easier for some of you to get like a fountain soda than drink water too. That doesn't really fly though, right? Because they're right next to each other, soda and water, right? It's not easier. And water's usually free, so that's good. 4 is no excuses, just results. Listen, if, I use an example like if you're late to something, a lot of times it's human nature. If we're late to something, we always want to like conjure up like an excuse, don't we? Right? Or just if we don't do anything, if we don't do something right, we want to say, well, I had to get up early the next day, or something happened, or my alarm clock didn't go off. Come on, who's ever done that before? Who's ever made excuses, right? So like one of the things is like with health, like just don't make excuses. Just say, hey, I didn't want to do that. I'm going to reschedule that time. And you're not a victim to the lack of the bad decision you made. Okay, so no excuses, just results. That's our goal. Okay, and then work hard and smart. Working hard, we all know that. But our goal is to actually get you to work smart by having a 30-day, day-by-day thing you can do. And all of our events isn't so I can just keep speaking and talking to you guys. Our events are so like I can take you shopping and show you how to do recipes and things like that, right? So we also want to work smart while we're going forward. The thought I can't is a lie that we use to excuse ourselves from trying. I can't. Like, come on. We can't say that anymore, right? We can't say I can't. I don't know if that works, but we can't say I can't anymore. Because what happens is that I can't means I won't usually, right? When it comes to health, especially like it's I can't do that. I could never exercise. I could never get up at 5 in the morning and go to the gym. I could never drink that nasty green stuff, right? I could never do that, right? I could never give up soda. I could never give up my sleeping medications. I can never lose this weight. I've always been heavy my entire life. Because you made it about the weight. You didn't make it about your choices. You try to do everything really fast to try to lose weight, the pills, the injections, everything else, but you didn't change anything in your lifestyle, right? So understand we got to get rid of I can't. So shift your paradigm. Say yes to change. Say yes to life. Say yes to your dreams. This is not a fad, and it starts by what you're doing here today.